Holy plastic quality, Batman! Hello, everybody, DK Guilty here, and welcome to my review of the Transformers Legacy Evolution Buzzworthy Bumblebee Origin Jazz, the second of the Buzzworthy Bumblebee Origin figures, and the second absolute banger. Holy mother of God, this figure is awesome, and this review is going to feel very similar to the to my recent Rise of the Beast Deluxe Class Bumblebee review, Studio Series Rise of the Beast Bumblebee review, because yeah, this guy's plastic quality is like exactly the same awesome as that figure was, and it's really making me very excited because a lot of the upcoming figures I've seen reviews of look like they're made of really high quality plastic, and I'm starting to think maybe Hasbro was getting affected by the whole pandemic thing, and it was making their plastic be weaker, which is why the War for Cybertron trilogies feel so much weaker, and we're going back to these super high quality figures, which is what I want. And now I feel like I'm getting my money's worth, especially with deluxes. You guys know how I said earlier that I didn't really feel like deluxes were really living up to their price point anymore. Between this and the Rise of the Beast Bumblebee and some of the upcoming ones, I'm pretty sure that's the reason. I'm pretty sure they've just upped the plastic quality so freaking hard, and I am so here for it. I don't care how much I have to pay. If the figure feels like it's worth the price, I will be satisfied. And holy mother of God, is this thing worth deluxe class price point. This thing is absolutely fabulous. Let's jump in to this review and start out with the absolutely phenomenal head sculpt. The head sculpt is right off of the Studio Series 86 Jazz. As you can see, bringing in the Studio Series 86 one right here, you'll get a better look at this in the comparison, but the head sculpt is the same. The paintwork is a little bit nicer on this one, and overall, I just think he looks way cooler. And this figure is the prime example of what I was talking about. This figure's plastic feels kind of cheap and flimsy, not horrible, but like, now that you have this to compare it with, this figure feels like double the weight of this figure. And the legs are so loose on this compared to the original, compared to the Origin one, which literally every single joint is literally Kingdom Cyclonus level. Like, there is no wibble whatsoever. You could put this thing in a paint shaker and it will be in the exact same pose that it was when you put it in there. DK Guillotine does not condone the use of putting your Transformers in paint shakers. Anyway, getting back into this, you have this absolutely beautiful painted chest piece right here, which I just think looks so much better than the Studio Series 86 one. So much nice and slender, more cartoon accurate, and just looks fantastic. Beautiful Autobot logo right there, some nice vibrant red, and then you get down here and the paint on this guy is just immaculate. You have this absolutely beautiful gray right here, which is just gorgeous. There we go, get you guys a nice shot of that. That beautiful gray right there, that is all paint and it looks fabulous. Loving that. The black underpants right there, again, bringing up the Studio Series 86 one so you can see for comparison. Beautiful gray down there at that bottom of the legs as well. Just absolutely love the look at this guy. He does have a bit of a backpack and definitely does have a bigger one than the SS86 one, but honestly, you don't really feel it all that much. And then the legs as well, there is also a lot here, but once again, this plastic is just so damn sturdy and so damn high quality. It just feels amazing in your hand, like absolute hand candy. This plastic in particular, actually, this like white plastic down here, this is just insanely sturdy and high quality, man. It is absolutely fabulous. There's even a screw down there for this little spoiler section right there. It is absolutely immaculate. So yeah, this figure looks and feels absolutely amazing, but how does he pose? Also pretty fucking awesome, and I have to say, this guy just looks so effing awesome when you just put him in like a basic, like, badass pose. But first off, take a look at the posability. There's a beautiful ball joint right here at the head, which I believe you can get more than the SS86 one. This is about all you get with the SS86 one. This one, you get way more up, way more down. It is really nice. Great movement right there. You do only get 90-degree bends at the elbow. I can't be too mad since 90% of Transformers only get 90 degree at the elbow, but I really do wish that we could get more than 90 degrees. It would really help with this guy's amazing posability. You have beautiful movement right here at the legs, forward and back. You get less than 90 at the knees, but I haven't really found too much problem. It has limited posability somewhat from me trying to get him in really awesome poses, specifically using his accessories, which we'll get into in a bit here, but it's still really nice. And then you have a beautiful ankle pivot right there. Nothing else for the feet except for, I guess, a toe down for the transformation, but yeah, so posability technically isn't like anything special, but you really get this guy. Like, if you look at him right now, in all honesty, when you just have him straight forward, he kind of looks a bit dorky in my opinion. Then you take this guy and you move him just a little bit around and you give him a little bit more life to his sculpt right here. And in my opinion, he just comes to life when you pose him and you put him in like these very natural stances right here. And just wait till we get into the till we get to the accessories right there, because like when you pose this guy, he really just cuts a silhouette that he just did not cut before when you had him in like a basic stance pose. Now getting into the accessories, and my god did they knock it out of the park in this department. First of all, you get his gun, which I actually like better than the one that came with the Studio Series 86. Where's that one at? Come here. Ugh. You get this is the one that came with the Studio Series 86, and this is the one that comes with the new Origin Jazz. Now, if you wanted to, you could absolutely give him the SS86 one if you wanted to. Boom, right there. Yeah, it absolutely would work if you want to do that, if you like this figure more than the SS86, which, I'll save my judgment for the end of the video, but I'm sure you can all probably guess what I'm going to say in that department. But I actually prefer this, this new gun. I like the black a lot. It looks really, really awesome, and yeah, it's just a great gun. And again, when you get this in there, and you start posing him around, putting him in these badass pointing and shooting poses, he just looks fucking awesome, dude. This guy just cuts those like basic badass poses so well. But if that's not enough for you, if the amazing plastic quality paint, figure, and articulation and awesome gun is still not enough to reach that deluxe price point for you, you also get quite possibly one of the best accessories of the year, honestly. This is his little grappling hook hand thing, and you just take his hand, fold it in, which by the way, this thing has clicks in the flip out wrist, which I just absolutely adore. Ever since I got Legacy Metal Hawk, every single figure that has these little that has the wrist that flip out like this, and when they peg, instant bonus points from me, man. I adore it. So you flip that in, and then you just take this and you plug it in just like this, and it looks like his hand has transformed into this little grappling hook accessory. And these are separate pieces right here, so you can have this, and if you are able to, if you're crafty enough, you could probably come up with like a little peg and then like super glue like a string to it and then connect it to this, and you could probably have a little grappling hook thing right there, which would be really, really cool, and I might look into that. But it is a glorious accessory nonetheless, and because of how good his head up movement is, you can get him in some really great like grappling up poses right there. Like, he can look up really, really high, so it's really good. And of course, you can give his leg a nice little stance right there and just have him shoot up like a Batman. Very, very awesome. I love this accessory. But it doesn't stop there, because you can also take this little bit of the this little part of the grapple hook and plug it into the gun and have this look for the gun, which I actually really like. This is an Evo Fusion gimmick that I actually think works pretty well, and I have used this multiple times while having him. It just looks really, really cool. I will say it's a bit of a tricky tricky deal to get this grapple hook off without pulling off the entire hand. I'm going to show you real quick that if I just pull this off with this hand right here, most likely the hand is going to pop off too. It didn't that time, but yes, the hand will pop off most likely because this goes in very tight, but it's really easy. All you got to do is just hold the hand in there and then pull it out, and there you have that. Now, for weapon storage, it's a little bit, okay, so there is, okay, whatever. Going into it, you have a port right here on the back, so you can obviously plug the gun right there, but this is the only port you have. So naturally, you would think that you only have, that is your only weapon storage, and you have to leave the other thing off to the side. That is not actually the case, because because you can actually take the gun here and just take these pieces apart, plug that piece onto there, and then plug this onto this little peg right here, and then plug the gun onto the back. And there you go. All of the accessories stored in the mode. So you can pick one or the other. So if you have him holding the gun, you can put the grapple hook in there, or you can have the grapple hook in his hand and put the gun back there, or you can have him hold both, or you can do this and store everything back there, which is really great. I will also quickly point out this little thing that I discovered that I wanted to show. His back is basically a bucket, and you can kind of just chuck this grappling hook back there, and it will rattle around back there, but it doesn't really fall out. I mean, it fell out that time. I actually got it at one point where it was like wedged against them, and it literally would not move. There is like some slots back here which don't do anything for the transformation, and you might be able to just like hook the grapple hook into this slot right here. I mean, this is completely unnecessary. I'm not going to spend too long on this, because I already showed you that there is more than enough weapon storage. Like, you can just plug that right there if you're going to give him the gun, because I really, really love the gun. Both of the accessories are just absolutely incredible on this figure, man. I'm absolutely loving these recent Transformers with their accessories, man. Just absolutely loving these recent Transformers in general. So yeah, you have perfect weapon storage, every option that you could need, and yeah, he's just fabulous. And again, just look how fucking cool he looks, man. First off, here he is with the Origin Bumblebee right there. These are looking great. I can't wait to see what they do with that wheeljack that has been confirmed. Here he is with the Studio Series 86 Jazz, and I gotta be honest with you, man, I think this figure destroys this one, like, in pretty much every department. Like, I pretty much love everything about this figure more than this one. The only thing this figure has is it has his more, you know, constant alt mode, his more, what's the word I'm trying to find here? You know, it just has his more usual alt mode, but honestly, I actually think I like the alt mode on this figure more. So yeah, I think in pretty much every department that this Origin Jazz is kind of infinitely better than this one, and just the quality of these two figures, I mean, that should speak for itself, I think. He just went short mode, look at that. You can do this, though. He can't, Origin Jazz can't go gremlin mode. Here he is with Bayverse Jazz. You can see how he looks with his Movieverse counterpart. How cool is this, man? So freaking cool. And now so you can get a look at how he looks with some G1 Autobots, here is Earthrise Prime, here is 86 Ironhide, and here is 86 Wheelie. And now, real quick before we go into transformation, I just want to briefly talk a little bit about recent plastic quality hikes right here. Like, we have Legacy Prowl, we have Armada Hotshot, and we have this brand new Rise of the Beast Studio Series Bumblebee. All four of these figures just feel so much higher quality than pretty much anything from, like, the War for Cybertron or the first wave of Studio Series 86. Which is why I said at the beginning of this video that I really feel like Hasbro is, like, upping the quality. Because, like, all four of these figures, just immaculate. Like, it hasn't been across the board like this for Legacy. Like, RC, her plastic feels a little bit flimsy. Like, not too great. This definitely does not feel on the same level of these four figures. And then Cosmos here, Cosmos did have good plastic, and he does feel about the same weight as Prowl, but definitely lighter than him, way lighter than him, and probably about the same amount as a Hotshot. So yeah, I definitely feel like the plastic quality is going up, and I personally think that that is a huge, huge boon. Oh, I should be breaking up this yellow right here. There we go. There we go. So yeah, these figures are fabulous, and I'm in love with this right now, man. I really hope Hasbro keeps up this really nice quality figures, man. Alright, so transformation is where this figure is going to lose a tiny little bit of steam. This transformation is not, it's not awful or anything, but it's not exactly a process you're going to absolutely, like, crave living over and over again, but it is a solidly fun, but there's some aspect of it that kind of clash a little bit. There's some clearance issues here and there. Why don't you just watch? Information on this guy, I'll sum it up by saying, top half really fun, bottom half less fun. So first up, you want to flip in the wrists, and then you want to bring those down. You want to grab his torso piece. This piece likes to pop off a lot, so just grab it nice and gently and pull it up over his arms, and then pull the arms in, and you want to rotate the arms this way so you have the hand facing you. Just like that. You want to do that on both sides. Now, I love this part right here. You want to pull this piece out, and you want to untab that top piece, and then you want to take this little clear piece right here, bring this out, and then just kind of clip this down like that. This clear plastic feels very nice and sturdy, so don't worry about it. I think it will be fine. And, oh my goodness gracious, this part right here, when you go back into robot mode, oh my god, it's glorious, but we'll talk about that later in the video. So you want to fold this up, you have a tab that's going to tab into this slot right there, a slot that's going to tab into that slot right there, and that is the top half. So that is the really fun part. Now, you want to fold the feet down, and we have to untab this little bit right here, which is very tight, so just pop that open. Fold this little piece out. You don't really get a lot of clearance for this piece. You kind of have to just, like, flex it around, so you don't really get a choice there. And then you want to collapse the leg in. That tab is going to go into a slot down there. Fold that in, get that in like that, and you don't want to hook anything together yet. You want to bring this back down. You don't want to hook that in right there. You want to fold that in and bring that down just like that. This is how I recommend doing it. And then do the same thing on this side, so fold that out, fold that piece out. Again, not really a lot of clearance, but it's pretty easy to get it out. Fold that in, tab that in. Don't tab anything together yet. Bring that down. Bring that in, and now tab the legs together and clip these hooks in. It's not like 86 Ironhide. There's no trick. You just gotta clip it in there. It's not that bad. And I'll show you how to get it untabbed in a bit here. And then you just want to fold this in, and you kind of have to flex this one in place, but it doesn't really fight you. It's fine, and the plastic quality feels nice and durable. And get the tab in right there. And then you're supposed to, so you have a tab in a slot right there, which you can tab in. Well, if you have this rotated right, you can tab that in, and then you can slot that in right there. You can do that, but I honestly recommend that you just leave those out. I'm not even kidding, but I will. But just to do this, I'm going to talk about that a little bit more when I come back to you guys. But I'll tab these in just like that, just to show you, like, the official transformation. But I really do recommend you just kind of not tab those in. But we'll talk about that in a bit here. And there he is in his absolutely fantastic alt mode. Okay, real quick talking about that transformation a little bit. The top half is buttery smooth. It's really fun. Even the clear plastic piece, it feels very nice, solid, high quality clear plastic. Doesn't feel like it's going to break anytime soon. And it's just really fun to do, honestly. And transforming it back is even more fun, because I'm going to show you, because I am actually going to show you the reverse transformation for this figure, because I do want to show a few things about it. So that is all fun, but the leg section, it's not unfun, but it is a little bit clashy, and there's not a lot of clearance to flip those panels out from the leg, and sometimes it can stick, actually. So the legs is where it's all little, and there is also those clear hooks from the Studio Series 86 Ironhide. They're not anywhere near as hard to get in there as they are on Studio Series 86 Ironhide, where you literally need, like, a trick to do it. You can just kind of clip them in there, but I don't really understand what they keep doing with these clear plastic hooks. Like, if you're gonna make a hook thing, please make it out of regular plastic, not a material that is known to be more brittle than regular plastic. Like, I love this figure and Studio Series 86 Ironhide, but, like, why? Like, seriously, why? Anyway, so yeah, the legs are just a little bit clashy, but The resulting vehicle mode is, I mean, look at this thing. Look at this glorious fucking thing. I love this vehicle mode. This vehicle mode, I've been using this thing like a cell phone. I've been like pretending like it's like I don't know what it is about the shape of this thing, but it is just endlessly satisfying. This is such a fun little alt mode. I mean, look at this. Look how well painted it is, too. You get this beautiful gray grille right there. Obviously, you have some robot junk under there. These pieces, you can tab these in if you want to, but I highly recommend you just don't. I talked about it in the transformation segment, but you can. There is like a tab right here in the arm and this right there, and you can tab it in, but if you do that, it's going to blur, it's going to like blow these little pieces out a little bit more, and you just don't need to, honestly. Just leave them down there. They don't flop or anything. You can just leave the arms down there, just have them like angled in like that. It's fine. You don't need to tab them in, and I bet it will probably help the figure last overall. Like, I bet having those things tabbed in and having him like blur out those panels a little bit might stress the plastic a little bit. So I'd actually recommend don't tab those in. They stay just fine under there without being tabbed in. But that is up to you. But the alt mode is gorgeous. I love this blue stripe right here on the back. I love this giant spoiler. And again, this plastic quality is just immaculate. This whole alt mode, this entire shell is just all that super satisfying plastic to hold. And you grab it and the quality just radiates through your fingers when you tap it. Like, seriously, it is just absolutely fucking glorious. I would actually say that this alt mode feels even higher quality than that Studio Series 100 Bumblebee, man. This thing is just immaculate feeling. It's so nice. Now, as for weapon storage, you have a really great thing of weapon storage here, but I'm actually going to show you something really cool about the weapon storage with this. So, basic weapon storage is you have your grapple hook right here, which you can just plug into this little port underneath there. It's in between the two arms right there. I'm sorry, you can't really see it in there. There you go. I kind of catch it a little bit right there. There's just a port in there, and you can just take it and peg it in right there. I'm not going to peg it in too hard because it's a bit difficult to get it out. And I'm going to show you that this weapon storage is not the weapon storage that you want to use, because I'm going to show, Daddy DK is going to show you a much better way of weapon storage. But you can do that, and that will store in right there. And then you can do the old plug the gun on the top of the thing like that. Or you can use this peg right here and plug it into the feet in the back there. Now, this is obviously way better because it's a lot more out of sight. But now let Daddy DK show you how to really store this gun, because you guys know how much I love my weapon storage. So obviously, when I get a new Transformer, I always try and do goofy shit with it, and I try and find weapon storage, places to store weapons, even if they're not even there. And I have discovered a pretty much perfect source of weapon storage for this figure. Take the gun, kind of put it in that same configuration we did in robot mode, where you put the little thing on it and then you put this right there. And then you want to get it. You have to have the arms like this, though. You can't tab them in. You have to have the arms like this, which I recommend anyway. And you just want to sneak that thing through, and you want to have this bit like that, and you just want to sneak that in there in between the arms right there. And just like that. And it will kind of hook on the underside there. And there you go. So it's right there. That is all of the accessories right there. And you can just, you're done. I also will say that another thing you can do is just take this piece off, put that back in there, and then just tab this piece into his, the same place you would do it in robot mode. So you just tab that little grapple bit right there onto his hand, and then the gun is right there. And it doesn't fall out. I could do this literally all day. I could just have this video recording for 15 hours doing this, and this thing will never fall out. It's perfectly in there. There's no rattle whatsoever. That is perfect weapon storage discovered by yours truly. So yes, I'm not sure what's going on here. I think the hooks from the grapple are like stuck on something up there, and that's what's keeping it from moving around. So perfect weapon storage for alt mode. Alrighty, and for comparison, here he is with the Origin Bumblebee. So once again, can't wait to see that Wheeljack, and we'll have the whole trio of first episode Autobots. Honestly, even if you don't care about these first episode Autobots, I still recommend both of these figures, man. They are just fantastic. Here he is with Movie Jazz, right there. Again, super cool. Here he is with the Studio Series 86 Jazz, right there. Tell me in the comments which alt mode you like more. I'll take this one, man. I love it. So yeah, there you have that. Here is SS86 Ironhide, just because it's such a blast to transform, it has had to. And here's also SS86 Wheelie as well. Man, I love Transformers. And here is Cosmos. So there you have it. Okay, so I'm actually going to be going over reverse transformation for this guy, just because I have a couple tricks for it that I want to share with you guys. He locks together very tightly, and I want to show you my way I've come up with of how to get him back apart. So what I recommend doing is come to the back here, untab these, just untab his legs right here, and this is going to undo those hooks right there. So that's going to undo those hooks nice and gently. And then that is going to untap from right there. So that's what you want to do first. Then you want to just grab the leg, and you don't actually have to open the panel. Just pull it out.
just like that. And then you can open up the panel, fold the flip in, and tab that in right there. And then, of course, fold out the foot. There's not a ton of bits to get in there, but yeah. So once again, just pull that out, open this up, fold the panel in, close it, flip out the feet right there. So there you have the legs. Now the top half, which is really fun. This right here is quite possibly my favorite thing about this whole figure. So fold that piece of deck, and there's a tab and a slot that's just going to lock in place right there. And then this is my favorite thing about this figure. This clear plastic is so tight, and when you're going back, you literally just force this piece up, and it just goes right in. It's so much fun to do. And then you want to split these arms right there, rotate them, flip, and get that beautiful click right there. Same on this side, flip, click, fold this panel down. Again, be careful with it because it might pop off, and then there's 2 slots on either side that's going to tab into the backpack right there. And there you have him back in robot mode. I know I don't usually show reverse transformation, but I just wanted to show you guys the tricks I came up with for getting this guy apart in alt mode, because he really does lock together very tightly.
Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Here we go. Let's do it together. Oh, yeah. Feels so freaking good. Alrighty, before we get into the final thoughts on this, I just remembered one thing I wanted to talk about, like the only flaw with this entire figure. This chest piece right here does pop off very, very easily. So just when you're holding him, when you're transforming him, just treat this with a little bit of care if you're worried about it popping off, and then it probably will be fine. It's usually very easy to get back on. Come on. There we go. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, it goes back on really easily as well, but it does pop off a little bit easily. So when you're transforming him, just give this a little bit of care. Treat it like your own bouncing baby boy, and it will be okay. Just give it a nice little, slow little movement right there, and it'll be all good. But with that being said, let's jump into the final thoughts on the, I almost called him Studio Series 86, because that's how freaking good he is. The Origin Jazz from the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line. I think this thing is even better than the Bumblebee. Like, the Bumblebee was phenomenal. I don't remember what I gave the Bumblebee, but I'm pretty sure it was a super positive review. And yeah, I think he's even better. Like, this figure is fantastic. The accessories are awesome. I absolutely love the grapple hook thing. I think this gun is cooler than the one that came with this one. I love the Evo Fusion gimmick, giving him that little harpoon thing. It really adds to the playability. The plastic quality on this thing is through the fucking roof. Like, real quick before we leave, I wanted to do this once. Holding him, these feel about the same weight. He feels maybe ever so slightly heavier. Maybe just ever so slightly heavier. Plastic quality is absolutely immaculate though. Like, literally you pick this thing up and the quality just radiates through your fingers. It's absolutely phenomenal. Every single joint is perfectly tolerant. Not one loose joint in sight. It's endlessly fun to transform, endlessly fun to satisfying. The transformation is really fun for the top half. The bottom half does have a little bit of clearance issues, but it's not a horrible transformation. You can still do it very, very easily. I've transformed this thing like 20 times already, and I've only had it for like 2 days, so yeah. Transformation is great, and alt mode is spectacular, honestly. As great as the robot is, the alt mode might actually be the best part of this figure. It's such a cool little shape. I love everything about that alt mode. Perfect weapon storage, looks awesome. This is just an immaculate fucking figure, man. They absolutely knocked it out of the park with this, and I cannot wait to see what they're gonna do with that Voyager class Origin wheeljack, which will complete the trio, man. Yeah, these have been a very, very surprising little smash hit for recent Transformers, man. The Origin Bumblebee was phenomenal, and this guy I think is even better. I'm gonna hit this guy with a big ol' S tier. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe give me a like and subscribe for some more Transformer reviews in the future. And this is DJ Guillotine, signing out.